Hey, Steven. Hope we're not interrupting anything.
Oh, hey guys. Good to see you.
Really good to see you too. Nice to finally meet you in person.
Great to meet you in person.
Would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do here at Productboard?
Yeah, I'm Stephen Walker, and I lead product management here at Productboard in Europe, which means I look after our core product teams that are building the Productboard app.
And what does a typical day in your life look like here at Productboard?
There's not necessarily a typical day, but there's definitely a typical week. So every Monday, I open up my calendar and I take a look at the standing meetings, the one-on-ones, and the project reviews that are sitting on my calendar and are really necessary for taming the chaos to building the product that is Productboard. Hey, but while you're here in Prague, you want to take a look at the office?
Yes, let's go.
Come on.
So Productboard is scaling really fast, and so has the product team. Can you tell us a little bit about the structure of Productboard's product team?
Productboard is about 21 teams now building the Productboard app, and we're organized into 4 different groups. 2 of these look after the core product, while the 3rd looks after growth, and the 4th is everything needed for enterprise scaling.
So how do you as a product leader set your team up for success?
I would say most of what I do is creating structure and stability for the teams. What does this mean? This means that we want to really create domain context for the PMs so that they can grow in their careers, and career ladders so that they can spend not just a couple of months, but cycles and years at Productboard really developing their careers.
And can you tell me about some rituals that you've created for your team for the day-to-day?
On a daily basis, there aren't necessarily rituals, but on a weekly, monthly, and quarterly basis, we do a number of things so that the PMs can learn from each other, we can review the work, and we can plan for each quarter. Let me show you where I get most of the work done.
So this is where the magic happens.
This is where most of my work happens.
So let's talk about this work. How do you think about setting product strategy as a product leader?
Setting product strategy is incredibly complicated, but how we do it here at Productboard is we look at multiple year horizons as well as the current year and the next 6 months. And having the 6-month view, the 1-year view, and let's say the 3-year view helps us really break down what's the most important work that needs to get done to help us execute against our strategy.
How do you put your product strategy into practice?
At Productboard, we put the product strategy into practice with a number of artifacts and rituals. The first is we have an annual product strategy document that we share with the entire team. And then we have a set of OKRs, or objectives and key results, that we set at the company level, at the product level, and then we cascade this down to the team. Then we have a set of rituals where we are keeping track of the progress and what's happening on a quarterly basis.
And you are a vocal thought leader on the OKR process. Would you mind sharing what you see product teams getting wrong about OKRs?
There are a number of things that teams get wrong about OKRs, and I talk a lot about this, but I would say the number one thing is that the company or the teams just aren't ready for a goal-setting culture. What do I mean by this? It means that the best companies, they could use any framework to set their goals. It doesn't matter if it's OKRs or something else. And so if a company wants to succeed with OKRs, they should really be reflective on what it means to set goals and achieve goals.
Steven, I need a little afternoon coffee. Would you mind showing us the kitchen?
Let me show you where I get coffee.
So Steven, you've worked at both large corporations and scrappy startups. How does product management differ in these environments?
There are many differences between large corporations and scrappy startups when it comes to product management. But I would say there's 2 things that are really different. One is the amount of ambiguity, and the second is the amount of process. So in a large corporation, you're going to have a lot of stability in terms of the process and the focus of your team. Where in a small startup, you're going to have a lot of ambiguity in what needs to be done and how to do it. And so you have to choose which environment you want to spend learning and really developing your career. Let's have a coffee.
So Steven, a big part of the product leadership role is building clarity around product vision and strategy. Yet in a recent survey, we found a big discrepancy between how much clarity product leaders have versus the ICs that report to them. Why do you think that is?
I think the number one thing is the amount of time that leaders spend really over-communicating the message. It's really easy for ICs to be busy in their day-to-day work and to maybe not catch some of the details that maybe are only shared once or twice a year. So I really think about, in terms of vision and strategy, this is a recurring message that has to happen several times a quarter, in my opinion, and possibly not just in group settings, but also face-to-face.
And how can product leaders more effectively champion product vision and strategy so everyone is on the same page?
The way that I like to think about it is an internal marketing campaign. And so you have multiple channels, whether that's your wiki, your Notion, you have other channels like Slack and email, but then you also have events, meetings, all hands, etc. And you should really map these out and think about the different touch points that you want for your marketing campaign, which is your strategy rollout.
All right, so Stephen, I hear there's a rock climbing gym in the office. Would you mind showing us?
The rock climbing gym is amazing. Come with me. I only wear polka dot socks when I climb.
So Stephen, what's your favorite part about your job?
My favorite part about the job is helping the team succeed. When you're an IC or a maker, your day-to-day is about shipping the product. But when you're a leader, it's about shipping the team, which means you're hiring and developing the talent that is responsible for building the product.
And we're on our last question of the day. What's one piece of advice you'd give to product managers looking to step into a leadership role?
I think the first thing that a product manager who wants to become a product leader should think about is that it's an entirely different role. What made you successful in your current role will not necessarily make you successful in your next role. And if you just want to climb the ladder, well, maybe you're better off climbing the wall.